everyone. So this is just a quick breakdown of the paper 1 GCSE English language exam paper. So the basic details of the paper, you've got 4 reading questions. There'll be 1 fiction extract to read, and it will be an extract taken from either 20th or 21st century. It's most likely you won't have seen the text before, but don't let that put you off. The total number of available marks for this paper is 80. This is equal to the number of marks available in paper 2, which then means that they combine your mark out of 80 for paper A and paper B, or paper 1 and paper 2, and then they reach a score out of 160. Just a quick glance over the skills that are required, the timings, etc. So question 1 is meant to be easy. It's meant to ease you in gently into the paper, and it's a simple comprehension extraction question. So you'll always be asked to list 4 things, and that might be about a character or a place. It's just assessing AO1 and the part of AO1 which is extract explicit information. You're expected to write 4 things in full sentences and shouldn't spend more than 5 minutes on this. It will be about usually the first paragraph, so a short part of the extract. And you may choose to read the question and then go and answer that question straight away just by looking at that first part. Question 2 is worth 8 marks, and this is a language analysis question. Now, language analysis is explicitly assessed in 2 questions, this one and on paper 2. However, it is the foundation of the whole qualification language, English language. And so knowing this skill and breaking apart how to analyse language is integral to the whole qualification, essentially. So you'll be asked, how does the writer use language to do something, to describe something, to create something? You may have been taught Pearl or PE or something similar. The way that your teacher has taught you how to approach the question isn't as important as understanding what the skills are. So don't let that restrict you, but it can be very helpful using those structures. You may also have been taught an acronym to remember language techniques. I use POSHIMP. Some of the tutors also use this, but not all. And also word classes and sentences. Spend 10 minutes on this and no more. And I will do another video focused specifically on analysing language. Question 3 is also worth 8 marks, and it's the structure question. Now, this isn't something that many people have done previously, particularly if you studied the GCSE prior to 2016-17, because it was a new component. However, if you've done GCSE in school, you will have seen this before. It will always be about the entire extract, and it's how does the writer structure the text to interest the reader. Again, you may have used a Pearl structure for this to write your response, but again, you don't need to restrict yourself with that, and there will be a separate video on that. There's lots of structural devices that exist, but you do not need to overcomplicate this, and I will talk about that in more detail in another video. But again, 10 minutes. Question 4 is worth the same amount of marks as 1, 2, and 3 combined, so it's very important. And some people may choose to do it first, but you don't have to. It's your paper, it's your exam at the end of the day, and you get to choose whether you go chronologically through the paper or not. But it is very important that you stick to timings if you're going to go chronologically, because it is 20 marks, which means you don't want to end up eating into the time needed to give a good response to this question. You'll be given a statement that has come from a student or a critic, or it will say that, it hasn't necessarily, but it will be a statement that you then have to agree or disagree with. Now, 9 times out of 10 it will say, to what extent do you agree? This is because, generally speaking, they want you to agree because they think that it is doing that. You do have opportunities to disagree slightly or at some point, but usually they're expecting you to agree. Again, you may have been shown a Pearl as a rubric to help you do this, but this is a much more free writing response. It's an essay response. So you're basically focused on the question and then have to find evidence to prove that is the case, and also consider how different methods of language and structure are used to create the effect that's in the statement. Again, there'll be another video just focused on evaluation, but I would suggest you need 20 to 25 minutes for this question. Now, you may have been told slightly different timings by your tutor. Again, don't let that worry you. These are suggested timings focused on how many marks that the question is worth. So just, I would say, practice using the timings you've been given by your tutor or on here, and then you might find that actually you're really quick at doing the language question, and so you want to steal some of that time for a more difficult question. Completely up to you. Question 5 is the biggest number of marks on the entire paper, and so it's important that you dedicate sufficient time to this question. It's worth 40 marks, and that 40 is split because it's the only question where you are assessed on your writing accuracy, so your spelling, grammar, punctuation, etc. You get 24 marks dedicated to your content, so how it meets the purpose and audience, how effective it is, and then 16 marks dedicated to the technical accuracy. So that's AO5 content, AO6 technical accuracy. And this is to write something which is creative and descriptive. The point of this, or the purpose of this, is to write to describe and entertain. You'll be given 2 prompts, and you can choose you only do one of them. Choose which one you prefer. And one of them will be a picture, and it'll say something like, write a description suggested by the picture. I will go into a lot more detail on this question. It requires a lot more explanation, but in terms of timing, you want to spend 40 to 45 minutes on this question. 5 minutes at least of planning, 5 minutes of proofreading at the end, and around 30-35 minutes actually writing it. It's really recommended that you do write a plan. So if I was doing the paper, I would do them out of order, but again, totally up to you. But one thing I really would recommend is to read the questions first, then draw boxes around the sections or the lines that they ask you to refer to for that question, and then start answering the questions in whatever order you prefer. So that's just a general breakdown of the paper, and as I say, there'll be other videos you can refer to. I hope this is helpful. Thank you very much.